Hi.
Hey, hey everybody. So this is part two. So, um, so how are we doing, Sharon? You
I'm good. I'm good.
good?
We're good.
Good. I'm doing
Mhm.
good too. So how's the
Right.
weather?
Sunny. It's been so hot
Sunny?
today. Yeah.
Sunny and hot. Well, I'm out in
Yeah.
my car, so I don't know if you can hear
How
the
is your
wind.
weather today?
Uh,
Oh,
Sunny and cold. There's the sun. Can you see the sun up there? I don't know if I'm getting the sun in there. I don't know if you can even see the sun. There it is. Is it back there?
I, s- yeah, I see the reflection.
Yeah.
Nice.
So yeah, you can see that little bit of snow on top of my car there. Um,
Mm.
so yeah, so everybody's asking about part two. We did a part one video. I'm just gonna go
Oh,
sit in my car here. So you
so
even
they're
see the
waiting. They're waiting
snow on my
for
sunroof though. Yeah, they're waiting for part two.
the
Oops, I got
juicy part.
the juicy part. I don't know how juicy this is gonna be. So far we haven't really been all that juicy. So
I don't know. Let's wait and see. Let's see if it's going to be juicy or not.
yeah,
It's for them to judge if it's juicy or not. Not for us to judge, though.
right.
Mm-hmm.
So last time we talked about how we met, and of course, we met because of your aunt, um,
Yeah.
Betty Udongo, who was an elected member of parliament when she came to the United States, and she had also founded a school, and I had visited the school in 2010, and I had taken her and her mother and some of her other relatives out to eat at a restaurant. So I had met your mother, and we talked about that last time.
Yeah, we did.
And so been thinking about looking for property in Uganda, and you've been helping me look. And in the course of doing that, we um, fell in love. So
Yeah, we did.
that's kind of where we left off last time.
Yeah. So,
And oh, should we? I don't know if we actually said, maybe for people just kind of jumping on for the first time, if we said
mm,
our names. Of course, I'm Robert Ruff, Bob Ruff. I have many names. Bob, Robert. You call me Bobby because Betty calls me Bobby. So other people do too. I have some people call me Rob. I have all kinds of names.
mm,
I prefer. I used to prefer Bob, but then I changed it to Robert, and it gets kind of confusing because people that have known me for a long time call me
mm.
one thing, and people that have not known me that long call me something else, and it kind of gets confusing sometimes.
So
So
now let's settle with Bobby because the love of your life calls you Bobby. So
it calls me
you
Bobby,
Bobby.
yeah. So which
Yeah.
is fine. I mean, that's what I was called when I was growing up. When I was a kid,
Mm.
that's what my parents called me. That's what everybody called
Oh,
me when they called me Bobby when I was young.
okay.
So
Then
I'm
that's
not
that
a
should be easy.
yeah. So I'm not a
Mm.
stranger to that name. I think as you get older, you try to develop your own identity, and I think everybody called me Bobby, and so in the course of me trying to develop my own kind of place in this world, I guess I changed and wanted to be called Bob. Then that kind of changed several years ago when I started um, really going all kind of intense with my fitness training and my running, and I kind of wanted to redefine my identity, and I thought Bob was insufficient, and Robert made me sound, I don't know, it made me sound more like Robert's more of a formal name, and Bob is more of a nickname. Not really a nickname, but it's more of an it's the informal version of Robert.
Oh,
Names are
okay.
an interesting thing. So I don't know. Tell me about Sharon. I mean, you're Sharon. Is it also Sherry? Is also kind of
Sherry is not really like I mean, sorry, like a short form of Sharon. Sherry was a name that my dad gave me to refer to me as Cherie. Is supposed to be like pronounced Cherie. Cherie is something French
mm,
for sweetheart or something like that. So my dad used to call me sweetheart in French. So Cherie, Cherie. But of course, we didn't know that it was like supposed to be pronounced in a French form, so they could just call Sherry, Sherry, Sherry. So yeah, so Sharon, Sherry, you know, then Keronga. Sharon,
Right.
Sherry. I could be your Sherry now because I'm your sweetheart.
Right. So but that was a name that your dad had given you,
Yeah,
Sherry. See, at
not
first
for like, yeah.
at first I thought Sherry was your middle name, like your name was Sharon Sherry.
No,
So at
my
first
name
I
is
thought it was your
Sharon.
middle name.
My
So
name is Sharon Keronga.
Keronga. I had a lot of trouble learning how to pronounce your
Yeah,
name
but
because
you learned.
that sound, there's a slight difference in terms of how Americans pronounce the N and the G combined compared to how you pronounce it. And we actually, most of us can't actually say that because it's not a sound that we have in our American English. But it sounds like when we're saying it, it sounds like we're pronouncing your name correctly, but we're not. I had to really work to try to teach myself how to make that sound exactly.
Yeah, and it's
Because
not
there's a
only
slight,
actually.
it's a very slight difference.
Yeah, it's not only you. In Africa, of course, we have different countries. We have different districts in Uganda. So people from other districts cannot even pronounce the Keronga well. Only
Mm,
when you come from my district, then you will know how to pronounce it. So it's
right.
okay. But you're good. You're getting good at that. Keronga.
I'm getting better at that.
You are. So about the juicy part.
Yeah, about that. So what's next?
Yeah,
So
what next? You should
yeah,
tell them.
what next? Yeah, so I think a lot of people who follow me on social media and a lot of people in my family and a lot of my friends and of course people at work know that I'm retiring from my position at the university in June. And I've been working at Western Michigan University in my research associate position about 16 years. I started there in 2007. Although I've been affiliated with the university much longer because I started out as a master's student in 98 and then started my PhD in 2000. And then a few years after I was in my PhD program, of course, that's when Betty came into the same PhD program. And that's how I met her and in time how I met you. Um, but yeah, I'm going to be retiring and only 58 years old. So it's a little early. My original timetable was that I was not going to retire until I was 62. I was originally planning to retire at 62. So this is a few years early. I didn't want to wait 4 years.
Wow.
um,
I'm
so,
amazed.
yeah. So I'm going to come there and we are going to get married.
Married.
Married. Yes. So,
Oh, yeah.
yeah. So this is how uh, crazy our love is.
I know it's so crazy. It's like
I mean, we've been talking for a long time, and over the last year and a half, we've gotten to know each other really well, and we have a lot. We have so much in common. We relate to each other and connect to each other so strongly. I, just the fact that we connect so strongly now, I don't see why we're not going to connect as strongly
yeah,
when
because
I get there.
we do talk every day. It's like we're living literally together
Yeah,
every time, every
every
moment. We're
we
talking.
video chat every day. We talk every day. Whenever we have an issue or a problem, we cry with each other, we get stressed out with each other,
We
if you know,
fight sometimes,
if we
rarely
fight,
though.
but we don't fight that often. I mean, that's the thing is
Rarely, yeah.
we've had some disagreements and misunderstand. It's not really disagreements. We've had some misunderstandings, and some of
Misunderstanding.
those I think maybe are just kind of cultural differences. That there's different words or different terms that mean something to you than they mean to me, or different words that mean something to me than they mean to you, and it's led to some misunderstandings. But the thing that I'm amazed at, and in those times that we had those misunderstandings, we were able to work through them very quickly because one of the things that we have is communication.
True.
we're I'm maybe this I don't want to turn this into a like a
A marriage
psychology thing
or
or
relationship
yeah,
advice or something.
uh,
Yeah.
giving people advice out there that if you're in a relationship, the key is communication. The key is to listen to each other. The key is to try to understand each other.
That's how we do, you know.
Yeah,
So at
and
this
that's
point, we really, it's like we've known each other forever. Like it's like we live together. So
you've been in my life for so long now because I mean the seriousness of our the thing is that for some people it might seem abrupt because maybe for a lot of people I know you might be coming out of nowhere, but for you and me, we've been talking like extensively and very intimately for like a year and a half.
yeah,
It's been a long time for us. And you kind of get to a point where you don't want to wait anymore. And we've considered other options. Like one of the things we tried to look into once was maybe
mm,
me coming there for a couple of weeks and then me coming back, or me trying to bring you here. I think we had talked about last year trying to bring you here for Christmas and spend a couple of weeks here. And
mm,
so we've actually tried different ways to connect, but there's been all kinds of issues that have kind of arisen with trying to do something. Then it's been challenging and difficult. And really, the best way for us to really make this work is for me to actually come there and spend extensive time there. And so I plan on staying there for up to a year. As of right now, I have a visa. What do I call it? So my visa's been approved for 3 months.
so it's a
So I'll
sure
be,
deal.
yep, it's a sure deal. My visa's been approved in
Mm.
July. So I'll be retiring from my job on June 30th, and then I'll be flying out to Uganda. And I'm approved to stay for 3 months to start. And then once I get there, we can work with whatever the powers that be that are there to try to stay longer. And so the goal is to stay there for up to a year and then hopefully to bring you back to the United States as my wife. So,
As
um,
Mrs. Ruff.
as Mrs. Ruff, yeah. And also, it's not that I'll be completely and totally out of a job because I've actually started an LLC, which I started just before the COVID era hit. I'd started my own personal business related to the same sort of work that I do at the university. I started this in 2019, and I had a couple projects during the COVID era went that I was doing on my personal business, and this was during a time when my hours were cut at the university. Because of course during that time the university was losing a lot of money, and so a lot of people's hours were cut and mine were cut to 30. So I kind of made up for that by working with clients on my personal business. But I really can't build my personal business while I'm still doing my current job because one, it's kind of a conflict that I can't go after, clients that would compete with that Sampi, who I work for, would also try to get. And I don't really think that's an ethical thing to do. So I
Mm.
can't really do that. But also the time, my hours have been raised again at the university, and I just don't have time to build my personal business. So another thing that taking a year off will allow me to do is begin to build my personal business, try to get clients and submit proposals and things like that, so that after a year, um, I'll have clients and I'll be able to start making money that way on my own. So it's not like I'll be stopping work because there'll still be work that I'll be doing with my personal business. Um, and then we'll
So
see what I can do to build there. So tell us a little bit about maybe where you live and what the environment around you is like. So you're in Entebbe, really close to Lake Victoria. So
yeah, yeah. Entebbe is a very beautiful place. Very cool, very quiet, very good neighborhood. Uh, Surrounded by lakes and beaches. And most of the tourists who come here love to live around Entebbe. So this is where I'm living. This is where you will come and live and relax and, let off steam and be taken care of by your wife and new experience. Yeah, so yeah, I live in Entebbe, close to
I
the
was,
airport, close to the lake, the close to Lake Victoria, surrounded by beaches. Very beautiful place.
yeah, and of course, you know how much I love the water. I live
I
in
do.
Michigan. I live in Michigan, of course, where we just have water everywhere. And my family, when I was growing up, we had I don't know how to describe it. It was like a private resort,
Mm.
about a half hour south of where we lived. And we had a lot in there, and we had a trailer in there, and we kind of lived out there in the summertime. And it was right along the lake. And so I grew up on the water. I mean, the home I grew up in wasn't on the water, but the place that we had where we went to during the summertime was on the water. So I love the water. I love being in the water, near the water. Well, maybe not so much in the water, but I love being near the water. Um,
Yeah, that's one of the reasons that I moved here because I knew you would love it.
so I would love it, yeah. Because we had talked about that. Oh, that's one of the first things we talked about. So you've known about my interest in water for about a year, year and a half. So when we really started talking every day and getting to know each other more, that was one of the things that I talked to you about, just about my childhood and how much I love
So
the water. And but yeah,
yeah,
so
I think we have the juicy part out now. That is if it's really juicy that you're getting married.
we're getting married, and we're gonna be happy, and it's gonna be great, and it's gonna be like, wow, these people are crazy. So
Yeah, so we hope for the best. We hope for the best, and we'll
so I
be showing
just
you more of what will happen. He's
yes,
saying
we
he's going
will.
to be happy. He's going to, we'll have to show you that whether he will really be happy. But we hope and believe that he will be happy,
Well, one
and
of the
I will.
things yeah, well, I knew we'll be happy and I'll be happy. And one of the things we're going to be doing is showing how happy we are through and showing everything we're doing through these videos, because I want to continue to chronicle this, and we want to do videos together. And um, so, yeah, I think there'll be plenty of opportunities for us to share our experiences with others for those who want to watch them.
Sure.
So I
Yep.
guess this, yes. So I guess this is the end of part two. Not sure what part three is going to be like, but of course we hope to continue to have these conversations. So we'll be back at some point to tell you more as we get closer to the time, because now we're about March, April, May, June, July. We're about 5 months out. We can record and chronicle my arrival and our excitement at seeing each other. So, but yeah, but otherwise, maybe we'll be back before that, and we'll have another kind of part three, and we'll talk a little bit more about things. So maybe people will have questions and comments or anything they can put in the comments, and then we can kind of respond to them in our next video. So
Exactly.
we'll see what
We'll be
people
happy
have to
to
say about this.
respond. Yeah.
Happy to answer those. So yeah, all right. So I
Okay.
guess we I always like to say bye for now, but of course I got that from you because you always said that, and then I picked it up, and now I always say it. So, but I got to give you
I'm a
credit.
student. Yeah. So
So,
bye for now,
yep,
I would say.
bye for now. Oh, there's I'm getting the you can see the sunrise, the sun coming up.
That's
So
beautiful.
beautiful.
Yeah.
So yeah, bye for now.